a little easier to keep everything in one spot. So Ethereum weekly exchange net flow points to growing accumulation trend. Let's see. Crypto market holds the line. On dollar earnings week start. Tesla writes down 170 million in Bitcoin impairment charges in Q2. Understanding the Bitcoin fear and greed. I think this would be a good one to read, actually, because I was talking about how now that there's a lot more fear in the market, I would like to maybe look at a position as everybody's selling and not paying attention. Binance CEO sues Bloomberg subsidiary for defamation. It couldn't have happened to a better group of bunch. Bloomberg, I kid you not, to look at their content on the internet, they charge you. But on my TV, on my Samsung TV, Bloomberg TV is free. So it's included with the Samsung TV and any other fucking TV that has live TV. Because I don't pay for cable anymore. I haven't for like 12 years. And I just have internet. So, and then for my kids, they have like the Netflix, Disney, and Hulu. But anyhow, so let's read this with the understanding the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. So the Fear and Greed Index is a tool that measures crowd psychology in the Bitcoin market. This overall feeling of investors towards the state of the market is also known as market sentiment. Fear and greed are two predominant emotions in human psychology that can influence investor behavior. The Bitcoin market is no exception to this. Hence why market sentiment awareness is important to helping us decide the right time to enter or exit a position. On the surface, investors generally follow the index based on the theory that excessive fear tends to drive down the price of Bitcoin and too much greed pushes the price up. Jerry Cares, welcome in. What's going on, my brother? The assumption is that extreme fear increases selling pressure for Bitcoin, driving the price down and presenting a buy opportunity for investors. On the other hand, extreme greed drives up the demand for Bitcoin, hiking up the price and offering a good selling opportunity. The index accumulates data from multiple sources to generate a number. The number is measured on a scale ranging from 0 to 100, and where 0 indicates maximum fear and 100 total greed. Within the 0 to 100 scale, the index is classified in 4 basic categories. 0 to 24 equals extreme fear, 25 to 49 equals fear, 50 to 74 equals greed, 75 to 100 equals extreme greed. At the same time, the index extracts data from the following source to calculate the score. What did that say? Mass Spaghetti Kyle's here, but driving. Oh, all right, awesome. Welcome in, Love and Kyle's. Welcome. Let's see. So we have at the same time. So volatility, which compares the current value of Bitcoin, is Bitcoin to its average value over the last 30 days and the last 90 days. Market momentum and volume of Bitcoin traded over the last 30 and 90 days. Social media sentiment, or what people are saying about Bitcoin on social media. Bitcoin's share of the crypto market against all the other cryptocurrencies, also known as dominance. And tell Kyle to drive safe. No texting and driving. Well, actually, if he's driving, he's obviously not texting because you're taking control. Search trends across relevant Bitcoin search terms to identify substantial periods of growth or decline. So the Bitcoin Fear Greed Index, a variation of the original index developed by CNN Markets, can suit investors with different time horizons as it gathers data daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. So whether you're a day trader or a cyclical investor, you can easily fit the index to your strategy. What song is in the background? It sounds like butter. Oh, it was The Simpsons in the background. I'm not sure what song it was. It was something within the end of the episode, whatever they were talking about. It was catchy, though, in the back of my head. So, however, one type of investor believes that acting against those emotions can outperform the market, the contrarian investor. Contrarian investors act against herd when the market sells due to fear. They enter a position when there's a general sentiment of greed and everyone else is buying. Contrarians find an opportunity to exit the market at price rise. That's what I do. I'm a contrarian. Is the indicator reliable? The answer to this question is in the data. Look into Bitcoin.com gives investors, and I can't imagine that would be biased at all, gives investors insight into how the index has historically interacted with the price of Bitcoin. Rude boy underscore Stinga, thanks for the follow. You're 475. Make sure you look at my Twitch homepage and click on the YouTube partner page and join the more than 12,100 subscribers over on YouTube so you can get the 4 to 5 to 6 updates I do in smaller time frames throughout the day, every day. So, let's see. Contrarians, blah, blah, blah. So as seen in the above chart, the index is an optimal indicator for anticipating local tops and bottoms. Price. So we're not looking at this. One specific claim from critics of the metric is that it's not a forward-looking tool and can be particularly risky if used repeatedly in the short term. An investor who decides to pull the trigger when the state of the market is signaling extreme fear might be entering the market at the start of a lengthy bearish period. If trading the crypto markets were as easy as just following crowd sentiment, we would all be winners. I actually prefer to believe, you see how everybody's long on everything. You know, now the market sentiment's slowly shifting. Like, a lot of people are like, fuck crypto, I'm out, I'm not buying this garbage anymore, they lied to us, yada, 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 XRP's junk, there's a court case going on, and I could not disagree more. You know, this is the time when we can absolutely start to look at a position to start buying for the long term. But you have to do it in segments, very small segments if you're buying it here. You can't go all in here if you're somebody who's never selling. So, if trading the crypto, in conclusion, beware of using only single indicator to make any investment decisions. We would all be winners. That's why the index is most effective in predicting broader trends. What am I doing? Make any investment decision based on a single indicator, yada, yada, yada. One should use it along with a combination of other technical, fundamental, and on-chain metrics, especially during the uncertain macroeconomic environment we are going through. If you don't know where to start your trading journey, why not invest in yourself first? Check out XRP Future Millionaire on YouTube. Has ample technical analysis and trusted technical analysis. But you can also check out, apparently, the FEMX Academy. So, and you can also do the crypto trading simulator before trading with real money. You can actually do that on BitGet, which is a fantastic tool to use. Tanya, welcome in, love. So awesome to see you. As everybody, if you're new or you're just tuning in, or if you've been around before, we have a new way of doing the show starting today. 8 to 8:15, we went over market setup. 8:15 to 8:20, I asked, went over the questions and whatnot. 8:20 to 8:30, 8:35, we're going to read market or crypto news. 8:35, I'll go back, we'll go to XLM right after this, and then I'll go back about 8:40, 8:45, and I'll see what you guys are saying, and then we'll finish out like that with what I see with the market setup. So, I didn't see that last. I think people will regret buying in segments unless the positions are super. Exactly, Pizza Brett, that's the problem. I think everybody will as well. That's why I think this is a great time, to try to expand your leverage trading and try to figure out the market at a micro level with small amounts of money, but at fast pace. So $50, 50x or 20x, so you can figure out the quick pace. So that when you're buying in long positions, you can sniff it out. Real Deal 0608, I really appreciate that follow. You're 476. Holy smokes. Make sure to check out the Twitch homepage and click on the YouTube partnered link and join the more than 12,100 subscribers over there so you can get the daily updates. There's like 5 to 6 a day. There's already been 3 or 4 today. They're just smaller. And Brandad, I just want to make sure I said hi to you as well. Redwire, welcome in. What did you miss? A little bit. But, the good thing is it comes on right when you can always rewatch the beginning. Bitcoin holders not selling as Bitcoin sharks heavily accumulate sats in the dip. That could be interesting. This is exactly when U.S. bipartisan stablecoin bill could be voted on. I don't give a shit about that speculation. I don't care about speculation. So let's read this real quick, and then we're going to get back into some of the other stuff. We're going to get back into XLM next. Bitcoin holders not selling as Bitcoin sharks heavily. I'm trying to make it a nice setup on the show now. So when you come in, you know each segment. So when you come in, you're going to know what's going on. So right now we're in the news segment from 8:20 to 8:35. Bitcoin, the bear market has proven to be no respecter of status. This is evident in the detrimental impact on price movement of the digital gold. God, I hate that word digital gold. It is not digital gold. It's not. Doesn't have any earnings. It has no real world use. Yes, you can send money and whatever, but the only way the value goes up is somebody buys more than you, pays more than you will. That's it. So nevertheless, as an indicator on a Sentiment chart. Bitcoin sharks appear to be expeditiously accumulating satoshis. In the dip triggered by the persistent crypto winter, sentiment reveals that Bitcoin sharks collectively hold 4.29 million coins. Sentiment, a platform concerned with behavioral analytics for the crypto market, has provided a chart indicating that Bitcoin sharks addresses holding 10 to 100 coins have been amassing satoshis, a denomination of Bitcoin, in the current dip. Bitcoin sharks have increased their collective holdings of asset to 4.29 million Bitcoin, valued at a total estimate of 93 billion against the prevailing rate. The chart also reveals that this wave of accumulation was apparent between late May and early June. Within the past 5 weeks, the accumulation happened at a period when the price of Bitcoin dipped by 27%. The amassing follows 10 weeks of a gloomy period witnessing sharks' aggressive dumps of Bitcoin. There was a series of dumps from late March to late May, a period that saw Bitcoin plummet by 37%. The subsequent accumulation indicates a positive outlook that sets the asset up for sunny days. Sunny days are here again. And some of the new people are going to be like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Bitcoin binary CDD indicator shows long-term holders are not selling. I'm waiting for capitulation to happen, but we never got low enough yet for them to have massive sell-offs. Bitcoin has been hovering above the 20,000 zone for some time. Now, after the current bear market pulled the S8 down to a low of 17,749 on June 18th following massive sell-off, a territory that coin has witnessed since December of 2020. My massive sell-offs are going to get us down to 6,600. Just be patient. I've been calling for this since 65K. Bitcoin has been hovering, let's see, the net unrealized profit and loss of Bitcoin is in the region of unrealized loss, indicating that the asset is around the capitulation phase. According to the date from Crypto Quant, market sentiments are not looking good, as well as the Coinbase premium indicates a low U.S. institutional investor buying pressure. Isn't that what I've said? There's no institutional buying, and I don't care how the news spins it. This article actually told the truth. Listen to that again. Market sentiments are not looking good, as well as the Coinbase premium indicates a low U.S. institutional investors buying pressure. It means no one's buying this shit. That means the prices aren't going to go astronomically higher, and we're not going to all-time highs, and we are, in fact, in a bear market. This is a bear market rally to make everybody think it's back in a bull market. Does everybody think it's back in a bull market? Yeah, there's no fucking way they do, because we keep going down. We need to have one more leg up for people to really buy back in and end up getting killed again. On the plus side, the miners' position index shows that miners are not selling off their Bitcoin earnings as rapidly as the past month. The sell-offs persist, but in a rather moderate manner. Also, the Bitcoin binary CDD indicator shows that long-term holders are not selling off their holdings, indicating an interest in holding. The month of June saw the coldest touches of the crypto winter as most digital assets plummeted by scary margins. July, however, comes with a more positive outlook, and most assets seem to be slightly recovering. Bitcoin currently trades at 21,857, down slightly from there, having gained 12.1% in the past 7 days. And now, let's see. No, I think that's good for now. Ooh, we can do an XRP one. We have a lot of XRP fans. So after this, we'll get back in the charts. So Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse asked a simple question. What's the SEC, or what is the SEC hiding? As case heats up. Ripple seems to be gaining mileage in its battle to win against the SEC in a long lawsuit to determine the future of XRP. On December 22nd, 2020, the U.S. SEC filed a case against Ripple in which it accused the company of misrepresenting its crypto token. Named XRP, according to SEC, XRP should be classified as a security as opposed to Ripple's intent of marketing the token as a cryptocurrency. XRP is the native crypto used on Ripple's XRPL network. While Ripple has been cooperating with the authorities and furnishing the courts with all relevant documents and presentations demanded of it, the U.S. SEC hasn't been very forthcoming when it is its turn to provide details and disclosure pertinent to the case. This seems to be frustrating Ripple execs, starting with CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Yes, Pizza Breath, I'm very happy that GPL ended up doing a reverse split. I'm pissed off about that because that takes away a lot of the upside potential in the immediate short term. They demand disclosure from the companies. They regulate and won't disclose anything. Apparently, Ripple wants the SEC to share William Hinman's 2018 speech with the court. The notes are said to provide crucial evidence that could help Ripple win the case. It turns out that the U.S. SEC is trying to stop that from happening. It's not providing Hinman's documents that are said to quote a top SEC official saying that Ethereum is not a security. This revelation could work in Ripple's favor since XRP and Ethereum are both cryptos operating almost at the same level. He went on, 14 months and they're still fighting to hide those notes. At this point, Brad, is a simple question. What are they hiding? How is this case? According to the CEO, Brad, Ripple is destined to win the case against SEC because facts and the law are on its side. In his view, the SEC overstepped its mandate by focusing on a little gray area and going all in to argue that XRP is a security. However, the case is now falling apart and SEC is trying all tricks to stop Ripple from winning, including withholding important evidence. So, very, very interesting. So I want to thank everybody for listening to the news with me. And what Pizza Breath is talking about with GPL is they had a reverse split at the worst possible time, because what's the point of putting it way up there? It had a huge pump today, too, that I didn't even see. Where did it go to? It was at like 92 cents. And then I mean, it's not like you could have done anything with the pump because there was a lot of BS in the beginning of the day. But now look, now it already came back down, and we're going to see, because this is not exactly the area that I would have liked a reverse split to happen at all. Like, we were way down here at 9 cents. Everything was good. I bought 5,000 shares. And now my 5,000 shares turned into 500 measly shares that I don't even really want. But there's no point of selling it after the split, or with the split happening. So, we're going to see if this has a reversal effect. But something sneaky happened, and this is generally what happens. Everybody starts to sell out, and then it starts to fall back down. There is a chance that we could get an institutional push. But you see it's already down 15% from when it jumped up. So now, what I want to do is go over XLM, and then I'm going to look at 840, 845 area, what you guys are saying for the most part. See if anybody has any questions on anything I haven't covered. Yep. Me too, Tanya. I'm second generation from Italy. Never been back. I've never been there. I had humble beginnings that I've worked out of now in the last few years. Let's see. So, I mean, we're hanging out around this area, too. And then with XLM, we need to get into. And XLM's a beautiful chart drawn out already. I'm going to get rid of this lower level one just so it's not as confusing. Let me just open this up a little bit. Because some of these are old things that we're pointing at. So, this is what we're looking at with XLM. We got this descending triangle. It's pretty evident what's going on here. We have a nice support at about 10.3 that I thought we could come. And now look where we're at. Everything's right around their support areas. 10.28, 10.3. So, these can be sneaky reversal areas. They really can. Down, down, back up, reconsolidate, maybe push up. I don't know how it would push up. But I'm saying, we're in an area where we could absolutely have a sneaky reversal playing out. If we look at the 30-minute time frame, it's going to tell us a lot more about how much steam we have to break this area. Because if we break this area, we already know our next real support is down at 0.96. Now, I didn't want to speculate that it can do anything other than those two things. Yeah, no. That's basically we're at our pivot level. If we break this, the market's going to drop. And look how much more of a drop this is for XLM. So I think there's extreme fear in the market right now. And not a lot of people are going to be paying attention to this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think very many people are looking at this like a possible reversal is going to happen in this area. I think a lot of people are getting, scared out. But, God, it's so tricky. It's so tough to just say, oh, I'm going to buy it here and hope that this is where we get this squeeze candle and then a small push up to at least the 20-day to see what we're going to do. But this is absolutely the area where you could see something like that happen. They're all like that, though. It's so tricky to just do it. Like I say, you have to take some serious fucking balls to go long here in a leverage position. You could always, I suppose you could always, because like I said, only do $50 at like 20-25x. So on $50, you could always put the stop loss down here at about 10.3. Maybe 10.2. And it costs yourself $10-15. You know, and try to do something sneaky like that. Because then even if it comes down here and let's say it bounces off of here at best, or I mean at worst, that's a 4% move, and that's 100%, you know. So I think it's a sneaky opportunity. Got in along with XRP. About J-Red. Excellent. Excellent. Woodpile, we sure will, and I would love to meet everybody in Italy after we go from rags to riches. A lot of people in my community have already tenfolded themselves, you know, and have at least got on the way of healing and started buying commodities and things like that, precious metals, and, you know, things like that. I actually got my most recent order of precious metals in today. I had I had 10 1-ounce silver rounds, 5 2-ounce silver rounds, and 1 5-ounce silver round. And I bought it because silver was at 93 to 1 at the time to gold. So anyhow, this is the time when I want to ask you guys what you're thinking. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think there is a possibility that this could be a reversal playing out in this area? We can also take a look at the Telegram and see if anybody's talking. XRP at the 333 ritual number again. It's because it really is in a spot where it's tricky. It's tricky. Is anybody else in a long or short right now? For the next 4 or 5 minutes, I'd like to talk to the audience as we're in the segment now. If you're new, what we do 8 to 8:15, and I'm starting this newer today. Today, 8 to 8:15, we go over market setup. 8:15 to 8:20, I acknowledge the audience, say hi, we go over things. 8:20 to 8:35, we went over news. 8:35 to 8:40, about roughly 8:38, we went over XLM a little bit. And then now from 8:40 or until 8:40, went over XLM. 8:40 to 8:45, I want to see what you guys are saying. And then from 8:45, I want to talk about positions up until 9 o'clock, whether we should, you know, if anybody's entering. So there's 42 people watching. Is anybody entered in a leverage long or a leverage short? Because if you're leverage trading, I only advise you to do $50. Just what I do. I don't really want to get into here. Nah, you know what? I'm not going to go on BitGet and do this. I'll do it on my phone because I don't want to fud up the show. But it's a very interesting time right now. It's a very tricky time. But you would have to figure this out in the immediate look at XRP 33.33. I should have just bought it just when we were talking about it. But it's tricky. You got to have balls because the first move might only come up to 33.91, which still would have been a nice move. Breadwire in a short on Theta from $1.24. Well, then let's take a look at Theta for you, shall we? Excellent short, by the way. Excellent short. Man, I wish I had paid attention to it when it broke the $1.28.9. That was that overwhelming pivot line, and look what happened when it broke that rising channel. Ooh. Let's try to redraw this in real time. Whoops. I mean, that's pretty good right there. That's pretty good. So we're falling back in here just barely. But you can see in the 4 hour on theta, if we do pull down here a little bit, we could have one more impulse move here. Like, theta's making it look like we're about to have an impulse move to the downside on theta. Small bull flag that could play out, but there's no volume that came in here. This still looks like ow. Could come down for a reversal and try to do something, but don't look good right now. But this kind of ended up starting to do a falling channel now, which are bullish reversals, usually at the top bottom. So, just depending on where it goes, you could get another, and then maybe come up and retest that drop point. But right now, for theta, it's got a lot of work to do. It's going to have to break this downtrending resistance line. It's just, otherwise it's in some trouble. It's a good way to look at it right here. If it can't hold that, so you should get a little bit of a pull down still, maybe a little bit to here if it's going to hold. But if it breaks this, you're going to have some serious shit. I might have came out too far though. That's pretty good. So that's what I'd be looking at for theta. Then obviously if it gets on top of here, somehow gets back to 115, then you can have a push up to about 119.7. Ethereum at 1422. It's finally starting to show a little bit of oomph after this big ass drop, but this is the UST chart. I might have to pull the USDT one. Yeah, see, Ethereum still hasn't quite come up to that back test. We're looking for a 1373 approximately if it comes all the way down here on Ethereum. Man, it still looks like we could come down though one more level. Bitcoin fell into this range, so I would like to see it come down more. I would just like to see it bust this, to be honest with you. I don't even want to retrace. I don't need to buy long. I want it to bust through. I just have a feeling these fucking the market manipulators, they're not just going to let it happen. The 28th is when we could have a lot of devastating news. Especially if you have a 100 basis point rate hike, which I think it's only going to be 75. So that could further push us up a little bit. If they only say 75 instead of 100, I think the markets would pump a tiny bit. If they say 100, I think it'll surprise the markets. I don't think 75 surprises the markets. And if you're watching, make sure to hit that follow button. Help get me to 500 followers here on Twitch. And then after you do that, help yourself out and follow me on YouTube. It's in the Twitch homepage, my YouTube partnered link. And join the more than 12,100 subscribers on YouTube. And I've done 3 or 4 updates today already. I do about 5 to 15 minutes, just depending. But I do a lot of updates every day so everybody can understand market structure and setup. And this is just something I started doing. Well, this is episode 181. So, and then DGB. DGB is coming down to a crucial level here, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't even hold this mid-level of support. This is kind of like the pivot level that I always talk about. But theoretically, I did it with the least aggressive. You could do this as well, too. So, we're going to let it come down there. And that could actually be the uptrend that's starting within this descending triangle where you could bounce around a little bit. But if we break this area right here at 0863, then we can start coming down here. First would be 76 area. Then I really want it to come down with this continuation to the downside. Oh, I can taste, ladies and gentlemen, I can taste. I can taste. No, you know what? That's improper. We're going to do it from when it had that rally and then immediate drop. So if we just say this line becomes a rejection, and then where do we fall? Is this the highest point we get to? Then it would bring us to our 325 target. If we drop from this area and actually come down and then bounce back up and use this as resistance, that's when it gets interesting, because then you could actually come down to 001. If we ever get to any of these, I'm going to have so many fucking DGB. If we get to 003, I'm buying, I don't know how many DGB. Right now, I would buy 100,000 if it's at, where it was at 007, if that would have been the bottom, or 008. I'm going to go balls crazy on DGB. Remember, DGB is in the Internet of Things. If you don't know what the IoT is, we're going to look it up together. 18 plus 18 cents, guys. DGB will be, in my opinion, to get back up to all-time highs. If DGB does get to, let's just say, 003 range, just to get back up to all-time highs, you're talking about 5,437%. You're fucking rich. If you spent $3 grand and it went up 5,000%, I'll do the math for you, but I'm going to make sure that it's proper. So if you spent $3,000, let me get my handy-dandy calculator, 3,000, fuck it, $1,000 times $1,000 times, what is that, times 5,000? Yeah, that's a lot of money. Oh, wait a minute, it's point. I mean, like 100% would be $1,000. 10,000 or 1,000% would be 10,000. You're talking like, what does that come out to? Anybody who's there, I apologize. I had my phone, but then I put it back down. I think it's like, is that 54,000 or is that way more than that? Because my mind's not working properly. Will somebody do the math for me? Can somebody do the 5,437% on $1,000? Because if I'm not mistaken, that 1,000 would be worth like almost 60 grand, right? Like 50 something thousand, 56,000 roughly. 54. Thank you so much. So imagine buying $1,000 worth of DGB and you make 50 something thousand. And that's just to get to all-time highs. And the amount of shares you could buy for $1,000 at 0.003. So basically you would have, and this is what I like to figure out, 1,000 divided by 0.003. You would have 333,000 shares if it got to there. So just do the math. 333,000 shares. If DGB ever one day got up to $1, well, there's 333,000 just on DGB. You guys all know I want at least 100,000 shares of DGB. When I first wrote it the first time, I had 10,000 shares and it went from 6 cents to 18. But I simultaneously had XLM that went up a couple 100%, and then I had it from 5 cents or 4.8 cent average on DGB, but I bought a lot more at 6. And then I had XRP where I had 7,000 shares or 7,200 shares at a 47 cent average. You know, and we made good money last year. I sold it at an average of $1.66, so did just fine. So, but if you bought $10,000 at this price and it went to 18, you get over $500,000 return. Whew. That's why DGB has to be a serious contender when you're looking where to put some money when this is all said and done. I'm telling you guys, DGB is a steal. Before we end this, we're going to go talk about the Internet of Things. I think today's class is what we need to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. I want to see if they will recognize it in this. So, here you go. We'll go through. What about Digibyte and the IoT? We all know that Digibyte is both a coin and a blockchain and constantly evolving platform, bringing together a huge number of use cases. So, top 5 Internet of Things, cryptocurrencies. VeChain, I've talked about this many times, launched in 2016 as a blockchain-powered supply chain platform by using distributed governance. So, VeChain, you've got Helium, HNT, Digibyte, and this should tell you why I'm so bullish on Digibyte long term. Digibyte is an open source UTXO blockchain that is essentially a permissionless and decentralized immutable ledger. Originally, Digibyte made use of the Bitcoin and Litecoin code base, but with its own specific Genesis block and a truly independent blockchain with a particular focus on speed, security, and on-chain scalability. Digibyte has been through non-continuous soft forks and a hard fork. However, none of them resulted in a chain split. In fact, there has been consensus and upgrades of the Digibyte network have gone into effect. Digibyte consists of 3 main layers. There's the core protocol, which features nodes that communicate in order to relay transactions, a public ledger and app store like top layer, where different types of digital assets can be created in smart contracts encoded with case utilizing the DigiAssets protocol, which sits atop on the Digibyte blockchain. Digibyte token DGB has a maximum supply of 21 billion. It is said that by 2035 it will be fully mined. Miners are paid in DGB by validating transactions on the Digibyte blockchain. DGB can be traded on many exchanges, including KuCoin, OKEx, Huobi, Binance. Also, it's on Uphold. Then you got Lost. You know, IOTA is technically said to be in cahoots with all of this, so I'm not sure why they don't have IOTA. But this is from 2021. So, and then if you want to know what the Internet of Things is before we leave, the IoT. See, now they talk about, I told you, so IOTA is a distributed ledger designed to record and execute transactions between machines and devices to the Internet of Things. IoT, the ledger, uses a cryptocurrency called IOTA to account for transactions in its network. So you need IOTA for the Internet of Things. It's that simple. But I guess it did. I think it said something about IoT. And IOTA is... It's so huge because it's basically the Internet of Things. It is. Like, IOTA is so big and most people have no freaking idea. IOTA is an open source distributed ledger and cryptocurrency designed for the Internet of Things, the IoT. So let's go into the IoT. The Internet of Things describes physical objects or groups of such objects with sensors, processing ability, software, and other technologies that connect and exchange data with other devices and systems over the Internet or other communications networks. Internet of Things has been considered a misnomer because devices do not need to be connected to the public Internet. They only need to be connected to a network to be individually addressable. The field has evolved due to the convergence of multi-technologies, including ubiquitous computing, commodity sensors, increasingly powerful embedded systems, and machine learning. Traditional fields of embedded systems, wireless sensor networks, control systems, automation, including home and building automation, independently and collectively enable the Internet of Things in the consumer market. IoT technology is most synonymous with products pertaining to the concept of smart home, including devices and appliances such as lighting fixtures, thermostats, home security system cameras, and other home appliances that support one or more common ecosystems and can be controlled via devices associated with that ecosystem, such as smartphones and smart speakers. IoT is also used in the healthcare systems. There are a number of concerns about the risk and the growth of IoT technologies and products, especially in the areas of privacy and security, and consequently industry and governmental moves to the address. These concerns have begun, including the development of international and local standard guidelines and regulatory framework. So that's